There we go. Okay. While I was gone, I got pretty much everything kind of sewn up that can get sewn up. I feel like this is dark. But, I'm gonna try to get them stuffed and stuff like that, but I kept them like this so maybe I could show it off a bit how I do that before we have these all done up. Let's do these first, because these I might use my tools for. As you can see from earlier, there are the little lines I sewed along them while I was doing it. Get this remote out of my way. Oh, stream seems to be running okay. So we're going to turn these inside out. And I have over here my extremely specialized tools. A chopstick. Super, from apparently some company. I don't know what. David Fong's? I don't know. It was just what was around the house. But they're good for, like, especially if you have really long stuff. Reaching in there and, like, shoving the seams out. So there's an arm. There's another arm. Also want to kind of swish it back and forth between your fingers. Get the seams out. That works too. Unfortunately, I don't have much use of this unless my little diddly boppers have trouble. There we go. Because these are kind of short enough, I can just use my fingers. But a chopstick is really nice because usually it's kind of blunt. I used to use scissors, but scissors have a point. And it can kind of like shove its way through the seams, which is something you do not want. See? That's not shoving through anything. But they can also, like, they're really usually really long. So if I do stuff like tails, it helps me shove the stuff all the way through. It can also help you stuff things, because you can shove the stuffing into itty bitty crevices. But it's probably one of the most useful tools, besides like scissors, I've ever had when it comes to sewing. Might iron that later. This one bottom. I also have Umar over here drinking her soda. Watch her drop it as soon as I set her down. Oh, she's cool. She's gonna watch. Ugh. I saved these so I could have done them while I was waiting for the dang last video to process because it took like an hour. But I thought this might be good for like people who have never sewn anything before to know what to do at this point. I don't know how many people actually like watch this and be like, I'm gonna go sew something. Probably not a lot. It's kind of a dying art. That I've just kind of stumbled into. There we go. I'll stuff those later and put little stitches like at each point so the points will like pop out more. This one I sewed all the way around because usually you don't sew all the way around. I would maybe do like leave two of these open, but since this part is gonna be sewn into the thing, it lets me do it without leaving a seam, which is nice. Let's get these poppers out. So I know using the same. Oops. Turn that inside out. Get a softer point on that. Make them all poofy. Get more of those out. This probably looks really weird. There we go. Little poplar hood. I forgot I stuck these together. Let's turn these inside out. Oop, missed the corner one. Yeah, the corner one's kind of a half one, so that one's going to be a little difficult. Yeah, that's what's stuck in there, isn't it? See, my finger would be too big for that, but this, so we get all up in it without busting through the seams. And I like this one because it's got a more blunt end on the other side. There we go. And eventually all these things will be connected together. You notice, like, once you fold it inside out, it's smaller. That's why you want to make everything bigger. Because it will be smaller once you put together, because you have these excess seams. So yeah, I can get that close to the camera. See? And there's the line where the original pattern was, and there's the little excess seam. So everything is going to be smaller once you put it together than you originally thought, which is why you want to make everything like a little bit bigger. Maybe like 15, 25, 30%, depending on what you're doing. Ooh, that came out nice. That was real easy. Ugh, and of course this one's hard. Ugh, it looks like an alien coming out of an egg sac. Bah. I'm going to stuff this, and then I'm going to put little seams along it to hold it in there. There we go. That's all the body. This is the tail, or the stump that goes up it. I did that earlier. It's hard to see. Here's the head. See, it's like 4 footballs make a sphere, and they're mostly sewn up except for this part, where that's going to be the top of the head. You want to kind of put that seam where it's least likely to be seen. I'll rub these together so you get the seam all the way out to the back. That's a loose string. Okay. Okay, there's the head. I got it. A big old bag of stuffing. It's like a body pillow's worth of stuffing that we're gonna shove into these things. They're not that much, obviously. I like to ball it first because I'm an overstuffer. My stuffing is extremely tight, whereas some people have looser, softer stuffing. Shove it in there, try to get it into all the corners, quote unquote, since this is a sphere. String. There we go. There we go. Just shove it all in there. Okay, we're starting to get a circle. It's a little wonky right now. It's going to be a little flat until I put in that last bit. We're basically making a little stuffed ball. We're getting there. I've got a little bit of a hole right there. Gotta get them in these last two corners. There we go. Okay. We're going to put a hidden seam all along this back. I probably won't do that during the stream. I'll keep any like major sewing on my own time, but I do want to get everything like so I can like put the pieces all together so y'all can see what it looks like when it's done. Maybe someday I'll show you how to sew a hidden seam or something, but you can probably just Google that. Like shove it down so it gets like good shape. Okay. Is a head. Stick that buddy over there because he's done. Let's stuff this stump. And no, sorry, I don't get Loot Crate. I've just ordered that off the internet. I wanted it forever. Little Umaru-chan. This one I have to stiff it. I got it off Loot Crate. And I finally just decided to order it when the second season came out. I think it's the first printing. It's not as nice. Kinda looks like something you'd whack someone with. As you can see earlier, we cut out like two sides of this, and there's a little circle at the bottom. Makes a nice pole. It's good. That's usually how I do feet too, except it's obviously in foot shape. This is basically going to be the backbone. This is a bit of an odd plushie. I suppose it's not the best one to do the first stream on, but after this I think I'm going to take a break because school's starting and I want to do a plushie for myself. I get a lot of requests for plushie commissions, but honestly there's so much work. So I often close them so I can do other things. Compared to like an art commission, which I can like do in an afternoon. Though I guess I kind of did this one in an afternoon. That's just because I had to sit down and do it for y'all. Walk, walk. It's very soft. Hopefully I have this stuffed enough. Looks like a weird candy cane. Or ice cream cone. Okay, and that's basically gonna go like this. So let's fold it over a little bit. Because we actually, this one actually be seen. Because it's gonna have the blue stuff over it. But we can still cover the seams anyway. Be at least somewhat professional. I'm used to working upward, so it's weird working sideways like this for the camera. There we go. And see, you got some coming out here, so you fold it over. I actually want to do this the other way. Yeah, because that's where the opening is. Put that at the top, because that's where the hair is going to go. I guess it's kind of all along it, so it doesn't really matter. There you go. Again, I'll probably sew this on later, so I'm just putting it together so I know where it is. I'll probably take it all apart and then sew it outside the stream. Okay. Oh, it's an ice cream. Oop. Let's do... Where's my head? There we go. Let's get little chunks and put them in the doodly boppers. This I might actually seal, because it's not very big. Like I'm good in them little doodly boppers, otherwise they'll deflate later. Boop, boop, boop. It'll also make those little doody boppers a little more evident. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I'm getting this stuff all over my nice black desk. I'll fill the rest of it. I don't want this to be too stuffed. I just want it enough where like the little doodly boppers will stay put. And see, this part isn't going to be seen, so the seam shouldn't bother anybody. If you can get a seam where it can't be seen, that's probably your best idea. Best choice of where to put it. This one's a little short. Oh, there we go. It looks like a little blue cloud. Let's see, is there a little separating piece between these? Let me look at my reference real quick. Not really, it's just kind of stuck on the back. So this will be going here, where those seams are. As you can see. I'm trying to get it good for the camera. And we'll put one at the back. Usually I would like sew up the head first, but I'm trying to just like show everyone where everything goes. I might move that foot a bit higher up. Yeah. Put the best ones up front. I'm probably killing the autofocus right now. Go. Hello. Still like a weird ice cream cone. Not too far front. Might be. Can't decide. Well, it's a good time to not be able to decide because right now nothing's permanent. Yeah, that's better. I like that better. Let's do the body first. I might sew these up real quick. After I shove some stuff in the boppers. I don't want this to be too stuffed because this is supposed to be sort of flat. It's just supposed to be kind of squishy. It makes the boppers stand out a little, and then I'll put a stitch here and suck it in so it'll look like that at the end. Kind of bring it together a little bit. The stitch shouldn't be too obvious too. There we go. There we go. And there's the little stitch. I'm gonna sew that up real quick. Got my thread. There we go. Do I already have a thing threaded? Nope. Let's hand sew like frickin' cavemen. Okay. I usually like to start at the where the little niche connects. Niche. I go down from there. There we go. There we go. Hey, that's got a nice curve to it. Hello. See, this is the inside, so this is going to be where the inside of the stitch is. Put that in between the giblets. See, that makes it a little more dramatic. I should probably seal this one off first. I'll slide that through to the next one. There we go. There we go. And then the next one. I'm sure this is interesting. Hey, that looks a lot nicer. This will also help keep the stuff in the corners. There we go. And just as I was running out of thread. There you go. So it'll finally look like, I'll go like a skirt connecting to the other one down here. First we gotta do the other one. Boop. Let's see. Here's the other one. Stick this one in. Fill up these little giblets. I handle so much freaking stuffing all the time. Okay, so this one's this way, so I want this one to be the opposite. There you go. Yep, and let's get more thread. Where are my scissors? They're there. Okay, let's trim that. This kind of looks like a weird butt.
There's a little bit of snow on the top of the
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I was being told it's snowing.
tomorrow. Gonna make it a cheat day.
Hello. Ugh, I have a knot. Oh well. It's not gonna be seen. Let's get that out of the way. It looks like a butthole. That looks like a butthole. Supposedly we might get like 10 inches of snow or something. It's crazy. We don't usually get that much. We might get like 2. Okay. Grab this knotted. Okay. Okay. There we go. To the next one. This guy's going fairly fast. The last one took me like a week, but the last one was like 2 plushies, so that's not really surprising. Okay, this will be the last little doodle bopper. Snow. There we go. And then we'll sew these two together later, because I'm not going to do it now. For now, we'll just pin them together. There we go. There we go. This is going to be a little hard with the not being sewn together. Yeah, I should probably wait till the other one. Here, I'll just unplug it for now and stick it on there later. Yoink. Till then we'll just sit it there. Looks like a stick with wings. Let's get the top. This one's doodle boppers are a little smaller. Okay. And I'll put a little bit in the center. This is going to be connected with like a belt, so it doesn't necessarily need to be clean at the bottom. I think we need more thread than that. Okay, let's make these little doodly boppers a little more obvious. I changed my podcast real quick. Okay. There we go. That's a little more obvious. Let's go to the next one. Okay, that looks nice. Woo! Got a hold of the scissors. Oops. Okay. There we go. I could knot that one more time. There we go. It's gonna be a little hard to get that all the way in there. Yep. There's the bottom. I might take some of the stuffing out of the post. It's a little thick. Haha. Okay, that's about what it's gonna look like. It's gonna have a belt around there and a little thingy right here. Might shorten the stump too, because I'd maybe like it there. It's a good time to do it because it's not like permanently in there. There you go. I'm gonna stuff the hands. I'll attach these real quick. I'll finish the little doodle boppers on this later. Yeah, I'll make the post a little thinner, a little big there, but there's still going to be a belt there, so it's not too much of a problem even if I don't. It's a commission for someone. Sorry, I had a thing up on the first one. I don't really have it right now. It's a very weird looking little robot thing. Stuff these hands. Okay, and when I do this, I'm going to fold this over right here. This is going to have an extra stitch around there.
Mama, you can see there's no one there, babe.
Okay. Give me that. There we go. I just got some major deja vu for like no reason. Gonna have a thing in the middle that's basically gonna like wrap around this and squeeze it out a little bit. Then I have the belt here. See, the belt would actually like cover up the stuff on the side. There we go. Burp, burp. So the eyeballs. I'm gonna sew in a smile. I had another piece. Let's see. There it is. There you go. Aside from a few details, that's about what it's gonna look like. Might move the eyes closer together. Now I have to do a bunch of like really remedial sewing now. And I don't want to make y'all sit through that. So I'm probably gonna end the stream and go like attach everything, give it a little smile, give it a few little extra pretty things, and then I'll post the final product up on Tumblr for everyone to see, with hopefully a picture of the original design, so it'll make a little more sense. But thanks for watching.